Hey guys, what's up? My name is Anthony. Welcome to another edition of B&A Sports Talk. So today, we finally see the Giants play again. They're playing at 7:30 tonight at MetLife Stadium. Is it a home game? Is it a away game? I don't know, but I placed a bet on the Giants a couple weeks ago. They were favored by 1.5 points, and now the line has shifted all the way to 2.5. They're underdogs now. Zach Wilson's never thrown a touchdown pass, and not even a pass, obviously, he just joined the NFL. And the player that's thrown the most passes, or at least any passes in the NFL, I think, on their, team, I think is their wide receiver, Perryman. Not Perryman, I forgot his name. But anyway, so the Giants are obviously playing the first preseason game. It's kind of like one of those things to get the butterflies out. And I was thinking about the theory about Joe Judge and whether he's going to play Daniel Jones or not. And I'm like, different people have different opinions on it. It's the first preseason game, and what Judge is about is ramping people up. Now, people in the past treated that fourth preseason game, at least a third preseason game now, and been like, oh, that's the last I will see. That's how we're going to get the final decisions. No, let's ramp our starters up. I think it's a good idea to ramp the starters up. People think it's a sign of Daniel Jones maybe not being ready to play or something like that. But let's ramp the players up. That's what Judge has been about. Let's get the guys and have them compete, because we don't want to see the starters. We want, the players gradually get used to more and more in games. The theory was spend that fourth preseason game because the next week would be, the actual game. I think that's how it works. I don't think it's 2 weeks. I think literally you play and then that's it. Let's do the math. Yeah, it's 4 weeks until we start. Yeah. So, people have that theory. I think that's a smart thing. The players are going to battle it out now, and then you gradually ramp it up. I think that's an interesting way for Joe Judge to play that preseason. Now, players that I really want to see today, I want to see David Moa. Is he actually a good player? He's a Boise State Bronco. Kid Blue seems to really like him. It seems like he's been the most consistent player. Obviously, we're not going to see a whole bunch of Kenny Golladay and Saquon Barkley today. That's not going to be the case. We've known that for a couple weeks now. The injuries and, what have you. But another player I'm interesting to see is Rodarius Williams. I mean, he was a guy that, has been hyped along with pretty much any rookie, any new player. You don't really hear a lot from Ellison Smith. You hear it's like, oh, that's a learning process. Maybe 2 years down the line, he'll figure it out. But Rodarius Williams has been a camp body. Is he going to be the next Corey Ballantyne? Or is he going to be a guy that's going to be a standout? Because if we look at the players we've drafted over the past couple years as a secondary, DeAndre Baker, bust. Sam Beal, yeah. Darnay Holmes, we have some hope for. There's all the players. Chris Williamson later in the draft. Okay, I kind of understand that. But yeah, so the players that we've drafted overall haven't been great. Now, let's just say that as far as the cornerback position. We like with Xavier McKinney, but that's safety. That's a totally different position. And I believe there's one more person I'm forgetting. It may be like an undrafted player that we got. The guy that was our slot corner from a few years ago. But I'm interested to see that. I'm interested to see Kadarius Toney. Did you get any playing time today? I think it's going to be very limited because of his injury. But we're going to see a bit of Mike Lanning, a bit of Clayton Thorson today. Maybe we saw Colt McCoy the other day light it up with the Falcons. The Cardinals. So that's interesting. I'm enjoying just hearing about the preseason. I don't really have access to them. I'll probably watch some highlights, things like that. But I am intrigued in Dwayne Haskins. I'm not sure if I'm going to make a separate video, but I'll just say this. I think he gets significant snaps, more than 100 snaps, let's just say, for the Steelers this year. I'm just going to lay it out there. I just want to say my piece now. And remember, I said that. Some other players I'm interested to see. I want to see this offensive line. I want to see how it gels, because it wasn't looking too good in that practice. It wasn't looking too good. And that's one of the things we think of. It's kind of like one of the things you don't want to think of. That's a given because we spent so much assets towards it. But the Browns, we wanted last year, well, at least I thought, Jedrick Wills, I thought he'd be a solid player. And then the guy from Tennessee, Jack Conklin. And Jack Conklin went all-pro. Jedrick Wills played a little bit worse than Andrew Thomas last year, I think, overall, but, still fairly solid. But yeah, and then they had an elite offensive line. They rebuilt that, but they had some long-standing guys, Joe Patonio, that really stood out. So we just need that, baby. We need that. That's why the Browns were so successful. That's why Baker had the 30-year jump. We want Daniel Jones to take that 30-year jump. I want to see Will Hernandez not getting beat. I want to see eventually. I don't think it's going to happen this game. Shane Lemieux not get beat and not get embarrassed twice a game. I want to see, what we got in our backups. How our depth is. Can we rely? We need somebody to stand out on this offensive line, and we need Kenny Wiggins to be good because that'll just ease the mind. It'll be like, okay, we have some sort of a balance on this team. That's what I think a lot of Giants fans are like. This offensive line's not good. What are we gonna see? Obviously, we're not watching for the backup quarterbacks here. We're watching to see like the pieces around. Apparently, Darius Slayton hasn't had the best, training camp. But yeah, I wouldn't read too much into that. I want to see the linebackers as well. I want to see how Tate Crowder is developing. Does he look fast on the field? Because I think sometimes he may look just a little bit slow. But he is instinctual, which is good. He's a guy that, goes 100%. Make a mistake, go 100% at it. I want to see Carter Coughlin. How do they use him? Is he going to be used more of like an interior guy, or where are they going to put him around the field? Azeez Ojulari, I do think we're going to hold him back a little bit, but that's up to the Giants to decide. That's not up for me. That's another name that I'm interested in. And overall, I want somebody to stand out. We're just like, we barely heard of this guy. There's some tight ends I hear are intriguing. One guy, Jordan Renan, was talking about in Talking Giants. Another guy, I think it's from West Virginia, has a pretty long name. He looked pretty good. I think he looked pretty good. It's one of those things like you're not too sure if he's just looking good amongst a bunch of bad players. But we have one really good. I'm gonna search. I'm gonna search up his name because we have the time here. But I searched up as like West Virginia highlights. I know, but I think that our tight end group is really deep. Obviously, we lost Kevin Benjamin, now Toy Lolo, but I wouldn't worry about it. I wouldn't worry about it that much. So we released our official depth chart, and everyone's kind of like reacting to those certain things. But yeah, what were we looking at? We were looking at our tight end spot. I'm going to be able to find it really easy on this list because, Nakeem Griffin-Stewart, tight end. Yeah, he's 6'5", 260 pounds out of Pitt, not West Virginia. I think they were playing West Virginia, that game that I was looking at. But yeah, I mean, now I have the roster out, I can kind of scroll along. Nico Lelos actually is kind of a little bit intriguing because he's been taking a lot of first team reps, and it seems like he's like the football guy. He's like the guy that has a little bit of a leader, like may not be the best, but kind of just sticks around the team for like morale purposes maybe, or the fact that he always just seems to be around the ball, seems to get lucky. Sometimes it's good to be lucky. You rather be lucky than good sometimes. But yeah, that's kind of what a little bit of a preview. I'm interested. I'm interested in everything. Do we look like a train wreck? I think everything is going to be buttoned up for now because we did have a full training camp. Everything is good. We did ramp people up. We did have a decent amount of injuries, but everyone deals with injuries. The Jets are not a deep roster. I think we should destroy them. Like, honestly, like even though it is preseason, I don't care. Robert Salah, like they don't have good depth at all. Take Corey Ballantyne, have Sterling Shepard, embarrass him. But hope you guys did enjoy this video. Let me know what you guys think. How much are we going to beat the Jets by tonight in the Snoopy Bowl? And I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye, guys.